Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you had a good start to 2023. I think many of us will say that we're happy that 2021 is behind us. I thought I would start this new year with a little recap of all the things that happened at Squarespace last year. 2022 was a really big year for Squarespace. And so I just want to share with you the new features and extensions, that I am most excited about and that have really made a difference in how we design in Squarespace. So let us get started. First of all, the biggest update was that Squarespace introduced Fluid Engine last summer. Fluid Engine is a new editor that replaced the classic editor. Now, if you are a Circle member, then you still have access to the classic editor. When you add a section, you get your section selector here, and then at the bottom you can see you can add a blank classic editor section. And right now, Squarespace have said that we can have access to this indefinitely, although then they also said, well, maybe. So I think at least for now, we can still use it if we are Circle members. And if we design for clients, then our clients will also be able to use it if we design using Classic Editor. Personally, I don't really use Classic Editor much anymore. You know me, I'm all about embracing the new things and, if they're good things, and all about learning and, just making the most of it. I think there are definitely situations where Classic Editor still makes sense, but for the most part, I have fully embraced Fluid Engine. And one of the reasons why I love Fluid Engine is that we now have more options when it comes to mobile styling. So once you design your page, and then here in the top right, click on the mobile view icon, and then you can see what it looks like in mobile. And what we can change here now is we can change, the structure and position of the mobile view. Don't change the content. The content will then also change on your desktop. But the way it's positioned, that is what we can change now. And I really love that. So here's one example why I really like this. So here, if we look at the desktop, here we have this very simple text block, with just one line, a little testimonial. And in mobile view, it has a word orphan, and anyone who knows me knows how I feel about word orphans, basically words that are hanging off a paragraph, single words. And now with mobile styling, we can change this. So I just click into my text block here and I reduce it, and then I'm going to move it so that it's in the middle again, and voila. So this is how I can change this. This now looks much better to me. If we go back to the desktop, of course, nothing has changed, so this only changed the view in mobile. Now, we did for a while, when they first introduced this, have quite a few issues with different screen sizes. So we would style it for mobile, but then in tablet view, it had all these long spaces, and that was really an issue for quite a few months. Now, I just checked it for the purpose of this video, and I want to show you something. So I just ran it through this app that I have that checks all the different screen sizes, and it looks like it's been fixed, or at least it's been improved a lot. Before, for instance, here, the Nexus 7 size, I would have lots of empty space below here, and it was really difficult to design in a way that it was mobile responsive in all different screen sizes. Everyone has so many different devices these days, that makes designing a little bit of a challenge sometimes. But it looks like Squarespace have actually now figured this out. So I am actually really happy, with what I see here. So for instance, the Surface Duo was another one where if I had it all, looking good in my mobile view, the Surface Duo still had some odd spaces. And now I don't see these spaces anymore. So this is great. I am very happy about that. And that is just one of those things about, Fluid Engine and 7.1 that is really great now. So what else is new? One of my top favorite new features was just introduced at the end of last year. We can now save sections, so if you style a section in a certain way and you like this and you're likely to reuse it, you can save it. So how do you do that? In your section, go to your section editor here on the right and simply click the heart icon. Love that they're using a heart here. And now if I want to add a new section, then here you can see there's my saved sections. And then here it is. I just click on that and voila, there it is. And now I can go and obviously make any changes, that I want to change. So for instance, if I want to change the background color or anything like that. If I want to remove a section, let's just go back to the My Saved Sections, hover over it, and there is a checkbox. Click on that and then just click on the trash can, and that will remove it from your saved sections. This is a game changer. I absolutely love this. And it means you can now use the same sections on any page on your website, so you can now. So it's not just on the same page, because we were always able to duplicate sections, right? But we really wanted the ability to use those sections on other pages as well. So now we can do that. In a similar vein, we can also save copy and paste blocks now across sections and across pages. So let's say, for instance, I like this one here, the photo and the block, color block behind it. So I just highlight both and then I use my keyboard, Command C on a Mac. I think that works on the PC as well. And now I just go to the section where I want to paste it and I just Command V and that will paste it. Now you still have to do a little bit of styling, to this. It will distort it a little bit depending on what you copy over. But yeah, this is really nice. I can also go to another page and do the same thing, so this is a very easy way now of, copying, pasting blocks, across different sections and pages. Love those things. Another really great addition is the shape block, much anticipated, so if you go to add block and down here, you will see now where it says shape. And what's also really nice is, you have different styling options, so you have all the different shapes here that you can select. And you can also stretch it, to the container, or if you don't select that, then it will retain its original shape. You can select different colors, this is great, so we can actually have multiple color shape blocks now. And you can also do things like have a drop shadow, so you just select that here and then you can select the drop shadow color and the angle and everything. So you can actually get really creative with this. So definitely have a little play around. But again, you know me, don't go too crazy with all these nifty new features. It's very easy to go completely crazy now, actually. And I would recommend to not do that. Don't compromise the overall, style of your website by now adding all these fancy things and making it kind of messy, So you can see how that is done quite easily. Now, I want to point out, while we're at this shape block, something here. So for this effect here, I am using a text block. And now let me actually just duplicate this section so that I can demonstrate this without losing my original here. So why am I not using a shape block here? This is actually the perfect example of using a shape block. Well, I will show you why. And this is kind of just a little quirk that they have for the shape blocks. So I can go here, I can select the arch shape or arc shape. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that. I will send it to the background, and then I can. So it's a very, so it's basically more or less the same effect here, and that's all great, you know, but the problem is that, and it's even hard to see, have a look here at the bottom of my shape block, and actually let me do something here. Let me select a darker color, and let me select a different background color here as well. And actually, let me just go with a dark one too. Oh, yeah, and of course now my shape block has, so typical, isn't it? Let me get a different color here. Okay, no, this is not a good way to demonstrate this. Let me actually change the color here now. What I want to show you is that there is a little gap. So if you now, let me just not hover over this. If you now look at the bottom of the shape block, there is a 1 pixel line. So what I've done here is in my section, you know, I unselected fill screen. So I wanted to remove all the bottom and top padding so that it would snap, you know, to the top of the next section. I really like that effect. But if I use a shape block, you can see here, now let me actually just save that so that the blue lines don't distort what we're doing. And you can see here now there is a gap. So I don't really know why. I don't know why, you know, the shape block doesn't snap exactly, you know, to the next section. The text block does. You know, if you look at this here, the text block is exact. So that is why I'm just using a text block with a, you know, with a background color. And for text blocks, you can also apply, you know, corner radiuses. And that's basically what I did here. So that's just like a little trick, you know. I mean, some people might not be bothered by this, but this is exactly the kind of thing that that I notice, you know. So, but we have a workaround for it. So that is really nice. So this was just a little side excursion now into, you know, one of the quirks of the shape block. Next up, buttons. Squarespace have added more styling options to buttons, and that is again really great, you know. So if you go to your site styles, you know, it's this little brush icon here. You have to be in edit mode to see that. And then here, you know, we have the shape section, and then here we have all these different shape options. And you can also do custom corners if you like. And then, of course, all your usual things, you know, you can do outlines and stuff. So, you know, have a little play around with that. But again, don't go too crazy, you know, but I mean, I love it. You know, I love, for instance, this petal shape here. You know, I think that is really nice. So yeah, so this is really good. You know, we have more options. Next up, we have a feature that personally I am like not that much of a fan of. It's the scrolling text. You basically, you know, if you go and add a block, it's down here, scrolling block. And you have, you know, various styling options. You know, you can add text here. You can, you know, add a wave if you like, and, you know, you can change the size, direction. I mean, you actually, if you like this kind of thing, you know, there is a lot that you can do. And I've seen some nifty stuff, you know, where people, I think, you know, like they created, I don't know if that's what it is, no, not with the wave. I've seen a circle now. I don't know if they actually created that with the with this here, maybe. You know, where basically it was like a circular scrolling, and that was kind of neat. But yeah, so I would say use this cautiously, but that again is just my personal preference, because yeah, I mean, I just don't like things that are too busy and moving around on my website. I'm just not a fan of that, you know. I like things to be clean and simple and stylish. Next up, we have the scaling text block, or the scaling, you know, option. I really like that as well. So basically, you know, when you are in a text block, you know, if it's this icon here, if I unselect that now, so now it will just use the size of my heading that I have defined. But if I click on this, it will actually fill the whole width of the text block. This is useful for mobile styling. So if we go to mobile, so now again, it will use the width of the text block to fill the text. if I remove this, then, it would drop it, because now the heading 1 is a little bit too large for this text box. So it will drop, one of the words to the next line. But if we're using the scaling feature, now you can assure, that it will always stay on one line. I think that's pretty nice. Next up, we have another text styling option. I really like these, so if you're in your text block, highlight the text that you want to highlight, and then go to the highlight icon here. And we have all these various different styling options, so you can circle them, or you can apply a background color. I quite like that, and then, for instance, if I want to make the text color to make that stand out a bit more, I can make that white. So so that is really nice. Again, don't overdo it. I've actually seen a few websites where people are just going crazy with this feature. And it's too busy, but you can highlight like individual words now really nicely. So if done well, this is just a great feature, and something that we used to use CSS for, and now we don't need to do that anymore. How nice is that? Next, I want to show you the image block. So we've added an image block here, and we can upload images from our computer. We can select one from the library or browse stock images. You can also upload from mobile now. When you click on that, you have to then get your mobile and scan this code, and then it will connect it, and then you will be able to get pictures from your phone onto your website. That's pretty neat. However, I don't really use it, because when I design websites, I actually collect my images in advance. I format them, because I want to make sure they are the correct size and also the correct file size. They should not be larger than 500 kilobyte, for instance. So I will also compress them if needed, and then I will upload them. So I actually have a folder for my images on my desktop, and just to organize myself. So for me personally, I don't really use this feature, but it's nifty to have. Then we have another feature, that I really liked, is that we can now style the shopping cart icon. So if you have a shop on Squarespace, and then if you go into your, in your header settings, you can, in the elements section, you can turn the cart on and off. And when it's turned on, you get your little shopping cart icon. And this is all we had for years. That's all we got. And now we can actually style it. So if you click on style, you can now choose different little icons. You can also, put a border. Oops, sorry, I'm in the wrong one here. This is my social links. I'll go further down. You can put a border around it. You can make it solid or outline it. You can also remove the zero, so that people don't see the zero, anymore if you don't like that. So it's really nice. So they've done a good job here at giving us more options for the shopping cart. And also another thing that was a big feature update is that we can now upload videos directly to Squarespace. We've been asking for this for years, and so now finally we're able to do this. Up until now, you had to have your videos either on Vimeo or YouTube, and then you would just add the link and embed them. And that is still good, that still works. I still do that for my courses, for instance. All my course videos are hosted in Vimeo. But we can also now upload directly to Squarespace. And now every website plan gets 30 minutes of free video time. If you want additional video time, you have to actually subscribe to member areas. At the moment, that is the only way to get additional video time. That might change at some point. And then, there's different options, depending on which tier of member areas you choose. So if you are, someone who, for instance, offers online courses, and I'll be looking at that, I might actually, for my next course, upload my videos directly to Squarespace, because then I'll also have them in my library, on my website, which will be nice. Another commerce update here, well, not another commerce update, actually I have a couple of commerce updates now, is that Squarespace now has a nice order summary page. So when someone makes a purchase on your website and they get their purchase confirmation, they can now view their order online. So this way they can actually check the status of their order. So for instance, if you are shipping, then they just click on that, and then they're taken to the order summary page. And then here you can see it says pending fulfillment. And once it's shipped, it will have the shipping information here, also with the tracking information. So that is really great. One word of caution here. If you are selling service products, which is what I use for my courses at the moment, for some reason in Squarespace, they have it set so that they need fulfillment, which makes no sense. Service products is not something that I ship and send, right? I do not fulfill it. People have immediately access to it. So for service products, you will always see the pending fulfillment as well. And I don't go in and fulfill my service products because it makes no sense, and it's also too much manual work for something that I don't need. So I really hope that at some point Squarespace might change that, because it makes no sense for service products. We should at least have the option to turn this off. But that's just me. That's just like one of my little pet peeves. Squarespace also introduced the option to have custom merch now in your store, on your website. I love that. It depends on obviously, what kind of business you have. But here's an example. This is my husband's website, we have a little plane, and the plane has its own website. And he has a merch store. Squarespace works with Printful for this. And in your Squarespace website, in your commerce section, so let's just go to that, there is a option here where you click on custom merch, and then here, you connect to your Printful shop. Now you do all your merch updates in Printful, so that is where you upload the photos and the descriptions and everything, and then it synchronizes with your Squarespace website. It's really nifty how this works, so once you've done that, then you just go and manage your inventory in Printful. And then on your website, you can just add it here like this, and then people can just click on that, and they can actually buy it through your website, So this is really fantastic. I love this. Another really great extension that Squarespace connected to last year is Weglot. So now you can have multilingual websites that are truly multilingual, so everything on your website will be in your desired language. And the way you connect is, so you go to your settings in your website, and then from there you go to extensions, and then you just, look for the extension. Well, actually, I think Weglot, this is one way to do it, but there's another way to do Weglot. You can also go to language and region, and then here, you have the option to connect Weglot as well. Another extension that they added last year is live chat. So if you like to have live chat on your website, this is now where you go, via settings, extensions, and then here you can see all the extensions that Squarespace offers. These are basically all apps, that have a direct connection via what's called an API, with Squarespace, so you can partly manage that from your Squarespace website. It's really nifty, So here, for instance, if we go to sales and marketing, this is where we have the live chat option, So you click on that, and then here is where you would connect it. Now, you have to pay for these extensions, so whatever they charge, but then you can just seamlessly use them on your website. That is really cool. I really like this a lot. I think that is it. These are the new features that Squarespace introduced last year, and I'm sure there will be many more this year. And I will be uploading videos every Friday, and it will either be Squarespace updates if we have any news. So you will get timely, news on any new features. And if there aren't any news, then I will probably upload a tutorial or something that is really helpful. So I hope you have a wonderful 2023, and thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, if you've stayed this long, give it a little like. Thank you so much.